Okay, hello. Good morning. Game dev time. We're going to try to do Colonist priorities again today. I wanted to do it last stream, but I got a little sidetracked. Good morning. By refactors. So we're going to try it again, and I do actually have a refactor that I think I'm going to start the stream with. Get a little warmed up, you know, get the phalanges going. And I think I'm just going to shorten all of these function names. Like I don't need get entity data. Like I can just have it be a wrapper around the entt get. Morning. Welcome in. Good morning. So yeah, I'm just going to shorten all these names, and hopefully this makes it just like super fucking easy to work with. And it's a global static now, so I can just use it from anywhere. I don't need to pass anything in anywhere. It's going to be nice. Janelle, welcome. Good morning, guys. Can I have my analytics, please? Can I see things? No, I can't. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna do it live. Okay, so add new entity. That one probably can stay that way. Add entity data instance. Maybe just be changed to add instance. It is an instanced struct. Add entity data, we're just going to call it add. What is this? What are you saying to me? Rename additional references. Why is that an additional reference? Like, yeah, of course I would want to do those. Okay, so these ones are in comments, so those make sense. That makes sense to ask me about. Okay, add, and then this is going to be add, honestly, just add get ref. Or maybe just add default get ref. I don't know. I think it's clear enough. I think it's clear enough. It's add get ref. Remove entity data. We'll just call it remove. And I changed it from sad day. I changed it from Drong ECS to just ECS as well. So not as funny, but it is more terse. So I think that means my code is going to be a little bit more readable. Yeah, I wonder if this is going to make the, like, find... I mean, where would I need to find usages for this, though? Because I know when you do find usages, it has to, like, check every get to see if it matches the right class. But I don't know where I would need to do a find usages for these functions, because it's pretty... I'd probably just do like a control F or something. Ah, God, that might be... Well, I could do it with the... It should be namespaced, so I should just be able to do it with that. As... How's everything going? It's going well. Going well. Getting back into the streaming. Took a break for a while. But yeah, I've been streaming for the past week or two when I can. Okay. Git add func map. Let me see. Is there anything else? Add instance. Destroy entity. Create entity. That can. Both of those are. You know what? Let's move those together. Look our imports here. Yeah, that seems good. Okay, let's rebuild. Anything broken? Probably quite a bit. Let's see how many we rebuild here. A lot. 93. Could be worse. Why didn't these get, why didn't those get changed? Remove data. This also... These don't make sense anymore. I did these as like shorthand because there used to be an entity subsystem instance on here, but I don't need the instance anymore. So those are kind of... Oh, I need to fix these too. Forgot about that. Yeah, but now that doesn't really help anything at all. There's no shorthand. There's nothing to shorthand. It's already shorthand. Rather than context has data, it's just going to be... Let's actually control Shift R here. This is going to be ECS as. Short and sweet. Import that bad boy, of course. Add data, and this is just going to be ECS add. Good, good, good. Ooh. Yeah, the passing in the entity, I guess, is the shorthand, is what would have been shorthanded, but it's not helping that much anymore, so I don't think it makes sense to have those functions. Okay, remove. Okay. Okay. Refactoring, yes. Welcome in. Yeah, I swear I'm going to get to Colonist priorities. I swear. There's a little itsy bitsy refactor I want to do here. Just renaming all of my entity system functions to be super terse, super short. I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible to work with before I get into things. Okay, so there's much in this file too. Okay, so ECS, that was rude of you, Ryder. Don't interrupt me like that. I did a Control Shift R here. I don't know why that didn't hit these ones. I thought I did. Do. I think these will be the last little changes I'll need to make. Like, look how short these lines are. This used to take, like, I used to have to, like, grab an instance, and it's so much better now. Much better. More gooder. Now I was even thinking about, there we go, and we compiled, great. Now let's test and see if everything worked. I was even thinking about doing a little pattern where, like, because I have these a bunch of these static utils objects for use in, a lot of it's like blueprint stuff, just exposing things to blueprints. I like these entity utils, entity effect utils, nobility util, all stuff like that. And I was thinking, like, maybe each data should expose its own little object. Oh, we're gonna shader crash, aren't we? Yes, we are. Let's try that again. Thinking about even exposing, yeah, like each entity data defines its own little static object, because, like, you can't, it's annoying, you can't make a blueprintable, you can't do a U function in a struct, which is kind of annoying. I would like to just be able to do that. But no, I'd have to create another object. But I just mean like put it in the same file. So it's the same include. Because you would likely need to include the type anyway, the data type. Okay. Spawn me 100. Okay. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, I think everything's still the same. Easy peasy little warm-up refactor there. Easy peasy little warm-up refactor there. Okay, refactor ECS function names to be more terse. Okay, now let's get into colonist priorities. Where are we at? Yes, so this thing. Okay, so I already actually... I did the refactoring the colony into an entity. Which, remembering from my last stream, I did that because... yeah, so I did that because I didn't want to have to recalculate which tasks were available each time a colonist needs to check their priorities, because anytime there's nothing available to do, I would need to run through each task, figure out if there's anything in the colony to do for that task, and then the next one, and then the next one. I would need to do that every time the state tree changes. And times every colonist, times every colony, that's too much. That doesn't scale well at all. And I'm mainly thinking about hauling. Hauling is the expensive one. So I have different storage areas, different storage containers. They have different storage settings about what's allowed or disallowed in there. They have different priorities as well. So I have to like write code to like reconcile all of that and like figure out, is this thing in the right place? You know, does it need to be hauled? And so that gets expensive when you times it by thousands. So I need to like basically cache that calculation and then only recalc it when something changes in storage, or like maybe not even when something changes, just like I do need to know when storage changes so I know when to recalculate it, right? That's the most efficient way. Could probably come up with like a hash version or something as well to determine that. But I would need to store it on the colony, and so that makes sense to put it in entity data if I were to store that on the colony, so each colonist can look up their own colony. Hey, give me the last cached result for this task. Primarily hauling. Maybe sometimes I don't give a shit about caching it, you know? Maybe it doesn't make sense to cache some things. Like buildings, or like construction, I already just save the buildings in the colony, so like, I don't know, it's not... I have a list of unbuilt buildings, so I don't think I really need to cache that result. I can just look in the unbuilt buildings and see, like, hey, is there anything I am able to build? Another thing I'll want to keep in mind as I do this, let me look at my colony data real quick here. Colony controller. That's what I just changed over, and I might change the name of that. Colony utils. Where is just colony data? Did I get rid of that? Colony data there. Pin that. Colony data. Another thing I'll want to keep in mind is that each colonist is probably going to be capable of different things. Like they will have like a construction skill level, for example. So there may be some things that need to be constructed that require a higher skill level. So I think when I do the task cache, we'll call it, I need to do it probably indiscriminate of things like that, things that are individual to the colonist. And then the colonist can just grab the cache result and check for themselves. themselves. Is that, yeah, that sounds right. Coffee time. And then maybe that that cache result just kind of has a list of things to do. And it's like, hey, is there anything in this list of things to do that I can do? That's kind of like that's what we would do. That's what we would check there. And I guess each colonist would have like a hash version. I feel like this is the last time I checked. And if that hash is different from what's in the colony data for that task, then we need to recheck. Otherwise, we can skip it because we know it's the same. Now, coming up with that hash, we'll get there when we get there, I guess. We will get there when we get there. I want to move building set down. I don't want that to be at the top. We also don't need to forward declare it because it's already defined here. Colony data should be at the top, yeah. That's the most important thing here and is the namesake of the file. Now, am I just going to keep overloading this single file with a bunch of colony datas? Maybe it makes sense to put all the building stuff in one file. Let's make a new file here. Colony buildings data. Colonist data, yeah, that makes sense to all go in there. We could probably forward declare building type, no? Okay, guess not. Did I forward declare it over here? No, we imported it. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. And let's grab the generated file as well. Okay, so that's a little bit more organized. We'll probably need to import some things somewhere again. And then colony task data is maybe what we'll call the new one. Yes, import that. Is it all in colony controller? Yeah, probably just these two files. NPC character as well. Ooh, for the chairs. The chairs data. Okay, is that successful? I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say we're good there. Colony data, colonists data. Make a new use struct here. This is going to be F colony. Go away. You interrupt me so much, and I don't even need you right now. Colony, I'll say cached tasks data. Or should it just be colony? I feel like I have a F colony task. Data. I guess F colony. Can I not? Can I exclude generated files? I don't want to look into generated files. I guess colonist tasks data or colony tasks data. Oh, it's colonist. Task data? No, we don't have that either. Okay, we could just name it colony tasks data then. I could make a T map here, but that's not very cache locality. That's not very cache money of me to do a map here, even though that does fit the data structure. Well, it's not going to be as performant. It's going to be a lot of memory for the hash. So I guess I probably just want to do this explicitly. And maybe, do I make an individual struct for each task type, maybe? Well, let me just think about what would go in here first, and then we'll get there. So what I would need in here, we would need some int32 for hash version. Don't know what to make of that yet. But then I need like a list of, I guess, like targets or something. So for like, let's just think of construction. Well, construction might be a, like I said, I might not need to do that one. That one might not matter because it's kind of already stored that way. It's just in buildings data. Maybe I call this cache version. Or cache hash? Yeah, cache hash. I like that. That sounds funner. That sounds more funner. More gooder. Okay, and so for then, I guess let's think about hauling. That's the main... That's the squeaky wheel who's getting the grease here. So I need to look at... On a state tree, no, you can go away. You don't really do anything. Build task, yeah. So let's look at the hauling task handler. Or just hauling handler, I suppose. There we go. You get haulable items in inventory. Yeah, so there's a haul inventory, which... Maybe I would cache that, but that would need to be cached for each entity, not on the colony, on the colonist. Important distinction there. So yeah, we're checking the inventory items first. And then we're going to get the closest world item, the closest thing outside of a storage area. And so I guess I'm not checking the existing storage areas yet. To try and reconcile them, because yeah, that is a bit more complicated. Yeah, caching the world items, that's interesting. I forgot what logic I was using to do this. So this is when you like drop something in the world. I'm just getting all ISMCs right now. Yeah, I think I did the naive implementation here. Yeah, I did the make it work version. I'm trying to think if I want to do this right now. It's kind of a side quest, I think. But that would be the thing that I would want to cache. And then I need to think about this closest item instance stuff, this world item stuff here. Because it's not, I wouldn't want to drop something on the other side of the world and then that be a valid haul target for the next colonist to get to a hauling task priority. It could be within a certain distance of the colony. Hi, what are you developing? Is it Android Studio Java? No, so JetBrains makes other IDEs. So this is writer for C++ game dev is what I'm doing. Unreal Engine. making a colony sim, part colony sim game. So I'm thinking about colonist priorities right now. I would like to cache their calculations to scale it better. I'm just trying to think of how I should cache the existing things here. And I think, yeah, within a radius of the colony. And this is kind of where I'm thinking that I do need to come up with like a colony area. It would be really nice to have that. So I'm thinking something like, you know, let's say blue is building, right? Let's say we have some buildings here. We got a little building there. We got a little building here. Maybe one down here. Maybe we got one over here too, a bigger one. And then the area, you know, I would want something like, you know, it's like kind of a rough outline, you know, and then this one would just be like over here, right? So these are the colony areas. And then maybe you could even like connect it like that, you know? What? You developing game with UE? Yes. I'm a Unity developer. Is UE good for developing for smartphones? I mean, I haven't used UE for smartphones, so I wouldn't be I wouldn't know, but it is capable of doing that. There are settings for that, so that would be something that you'd have to look into. But yes, it does have that capability. But yeah, I would like some area like this, but this would be, now this is just like a 2D representation, and I would need a 3D representation, I think. Now I could, the super shitty and naive way to do this would just be to grab the location of each building and then do a certain, you know, maybe get the bounds and then do a certain distance, like bounding box and then also distance away or something. I'm developing Unity 6 years. Do you recommend migrating to UE? Dude, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, my man. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know you. I don't know your project. Those are all decisions you have to make, man. And then just I would do like a, you know, a circle. That would be, and also I would be doing that many times for each colony building, which would not be super efficient. I guess I could, whenever something is dropped into the world, I could iterate. No, that's way too much. That's way too much. I could put I guess the buildings have a location. So that would go into my chunk processor. Yeah, so the buildings are entities, and the buildings would have locations. Ooh, they would need faction data too. Can add that. It's not too much. Yeah, as long as they're not dead. As long as the building isn't dead. So I could use that, and that is that's a 3D grid that partitions the world and puts the entities into their respective grid chunks. So I can iterate over. I can do spatial queries a little bit more efficiently. So maybe that's kind of an easier way. Let me think. So if this world was in a grid, Let's make this green. I'm gonna make these, grid is green. Grid is green, right? So we'd have a spatial grid, partitioning the world. Roughly like that. And anytime, like say I drop an item here, I could get entities within radius anytime. And it's not like items are being dropped all the time, so it's not that big of a deal to probably check that. That's actually not a bad, this is not a bad way to do it. And it works for 3D too. I would just need to make sure that the entity is a building, which I don't think I have a way to determine that right now. So we'll need to do that. The building will need to have a faction too. And then I would need to look up the building's colony data. Is that how I would want to store that? Is that how I would want to store that? Or should I make some world item? Should the world, I think maybe the world item could be an entity as well. Where the hell was I? In the hauling handler. The world item subsystem, yeah, okay, so let's go here for a second. Let me take a peek here. Oh, I need to rename this file. Missed that. Well, I guess right now it's just all immediately stored in the ISMC. Yeah, so the world item is not an entity. It kind of makes, I think it makes sense in my head to make it an entity, although would I want that, like, am I going to do very much with that? Or is that going to clog up my entity system, my ECS? I guess what I wouldn't want it to do is to kind of like impact the performance of other stuff because there's just more shit in there. Yeah, if I'm going to have buildings in the chunk processor, I could put world items in the chunk as well. If they're going to be entities, they need to have a location. I guess I was just planning, I guess when I made this I was just planning to leave them as ISMCs. I mean, they're pretty efficient as instant static mesh component instances. I think maybe just doing the buildings. The buildings already are entities. So doing that, and then whenever something is dropped, get the nearest building. Well, I guess it would be get any buildings within whatever radius I decide it counts as included in the colony. God, there's gonna be a lot of buildings though. It's gonna be a lot of buildings though. If you drop something in like the middle of a colony, like this building here is actually like 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, 5 for a foundation, 6, 7, 8 for a roof, you know. Maybe I just add it to the, like I could do an early out and just add it to the nearest colony. But it's like, what if you drop it, you know, dead middle in between two different colonies? Because I want the player to be able to create multiple colonies. And what if there's 2 different factions, right? What if there's 2 different factions? Whichever one you drop it nearest to just gets it. Is that what I would want to do? That's the easiest, most efficient, most naive way. Excuse me. I would really like this little, like, I don't know what to call this little colony bounds. It would be really nice to just have some shape that I could query. Just be like, hey, is this within range or something? But I guess what I have here is kind of like a faux version of that, in a way. Okay, so I think I'll go with that just to start, and we'll see if that makes sense moving forward at a later point. Do I want to do that right now? I think I could probably whip that up pretty quickly. Let me check state tree. Okay, so I would need some to check if there is work based on the cache hash, which is fun to say. And what about for foraging? Let me think. I gotta think about each of these. Let me look at the forage handler. For foraging, it's an ISMC query, but those ISMCs aren't like dropped in the world. Oh, right. I was planning to do this with the buildable areas. I think. Methinks. Are the colonies only created by the player? No, there's going to be NPC ran colonies as well. Will there be colonists that NPCs are a part of that you could recruit or have joined by taking over a colony? Yeah, I want all of that kind of colony faction interaction stuff for sure. You know, maybe you go and you know, you conquer a colony and they have some prisoners that want to join you or something. Or maybe you just find some colonists, kind of some lone wolves out in the world that you can recruit as well. Or yeah, maybe you enslave people. You know, the children do yearn for the mines. We must have that. We must. Although I imagine I'm not going to have children in the game for quite some time, so that's unfortunate. Probably will be all adults, and there probably won't be aging either for quite some time. That's definitely not release 1 stuff there. So yeah, I guess and right now I don't have this functionality. I only have it stubbed out, but like regrowth. So for foraging, it's going to be like mushrooms and berries and bushes and stuff like that. And so I would only need to invalidate the cache hash when I guess the cache hash could just be an incremented number, right? Just increment it whenever something changes. How big is an N32 is big enough for that, right? N32 max. It is 2. I love this answer. It's 2.1 billion. Easiest way to memorize it is via a tattoo. Yeah, that is a good way to memorize it. Getting it fucking etched on your body. Great answer. That is the correct answer. Yeah. So that how many, like, if I did this in, the way I like to visualize this is like, I have this number. So if I incremented this once a second, divided by 60 seconds in a minute, divided by 60 minutes in an hour, divided by 24 hours in a day, that would take 24,000 days to reach the maximum. Okay, I think we're good with it in 32. Hi, welcome in, guys. I want to learn coding for the game industry. Which language should I learn first? Whichever one the engine uses that you think you want to use. Yeah, I think you need to do some research about game engines and what kinds of games are made in those engines. And you need to determine what you want to do. And you don't know what you want to do because you don't know very much about the games industry. So you just need to do a little bit of research about that. Shall I ask you something? You can ask. You can ask questions, yes. Anyways, for foraging, yeah, it would only be when things regrow. It would only be when things regrow. Which I also don't have. Really, I don't have a reason to cache things that much. And I do have tree chopping stubbed as a task. I don't have any of that functionality yet. So for that, it would be the same. It would be an ISMC query within an area. So yeah, I would just need to, I guess, God, I would need to check. Well, I guess areas are buildings too. You get a lot of foundational questions. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. You know, I think people see someone raw dogging, handwriting code, just raw dogging it without AI. I got Ankh over here has been doing it for a minute. It's either that or, bro, just use AI. Like, no, thank you. I've had people get kind of angry, it seems. I mean, it's textual, so maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but it seems like they're offended that I'm not using AI. They're very adamant about just use AI. AI is going to be better than anything I could possibly do. And I think that's a reflection of themselves most of the time. That they feel invalidated. That they need to use AI and I don't. So yeah, I don't actually have a need for this kind of stuff yet. I guess hauling would be the only way, but I need to do some preceptual, is that a word? Preceptual stuff to get that set up. Meaning I need to, I mean, I guess drop item is right here. I could probably do the query pretty easily. Now, drop item, I'm pretty sure happens from blueprints. And you know what? Before I do this, let's commit what I have and get a nice clean slate here. Let's go, we're going to delete that for now. We don't need that at the moment, and we can delete those forward declarations. The rest of that is here. Let's go ahead and rename this file too. Got to rename this guy a while ago. And this is going to be ECS. I think that we'll rebuild real quick, make sure that compiles, and then just commit away. How did you learn programming when you started? Hammer and chisel, actually. That's how it started back in the day before AI. Yeah, stone tablets, hammer and chisel. And what's the best way to go on learning without giving up? You know, vibe coding kind of making me dumb. I do learn to hard code, but I'm afraid of AI. So hard code means something different, but I get what you mean. When you hard code something, that means that you're like setting an explicit value in the code without making it like a variable or something like that. And usually when you hard code something, you're just doing it to do something like quick and dirty. I I mean, how I learn to code is I have a project that I want to work on, that I'm motivated to work on, that I'm interested in. Like game dev. I'm very interested in this. Although back in the day, it was other things. It doesn't even need to be something that, like, I think maybe the mistake some people fall into is trying to come up with something that hasn't been done before, or like is super useful. It's like, no, just do something that you're interested in. It doesn't have to be cutting edge. It doesn't have to be, you know, the world doesn't need it or anything like that. It can just be something that's fun for you. Okay, that shader crash again. I keep forgetting that that's gonna happen. And then I just figure out each thing that I need to know to get it done. And, you know, maybe when I start with a new thing, I do like a quick little tutorial, but you can't, I don't really use tutorials to learn. I just use it to kind of get the lay of the land before I dive in. Because you don't want to get stuck in tutorial hell, because then you're just kind of copying things and not doing things on your own. So yeah, I just Google each thing I need to know to get it done. That's how I learned. No college degree. It's been 3 or 4 months last time I checked in. How's life? Life's good. Just took a little bit of a break from streaming. It was just kind of a combination of being busy at the end of the year and also just kind of some of the stuff I was working on. I didn't fucking know what I was doing, so it would have just been a lot of me staring at code, not saying anything, so I didn't stream it. I like tutorials that played at 2.0 speed. Yeah, I mean, if the tutorial has exactly what you're looking for, you know, I definitely do the same thing. Like I have a little compass at the top of the screen. That was one such tutorial. See this little compass up here? I was like, yeah, how do I do that? Yeah, there's a nice little tutorial for that. So yeah, if the tutorial is exactly what you need, yeah, but I'm not saying don't do tutorials. I'm just saying don't get stuck only doing tutorials. You need to apply the tutorial knowledge to your own project in your own way to actually learn it. It's like, yeah, reading in theory and stuff is great, but it's no, like, you're never going to learn something as well as when you actually do it. That's the best way to learn something. Yeah, but that looks good. Go away, please. So let's go ahead and commit this. What even is this? This is just me separate colony structs, colony data, I'll just say. Okay, so world item subsystem drop item, and this is primarily called from blueprints. Let's make sure it's not in called in C anywhere. Yeah, so just blueprints. New open, thank you. Drop item in world from the HUD. Yeah. So that's here's what that looks like for the uninitiated in the project. So I have some mushrooms that I can like split. That was a little bit too far. Why are you broken? Uh-oh. Oh, feck. Okay, does it work in my other world? Ooh, I did work on drag and drop for the Colonist priority UI, so I wonder if I broke the drag and drop elsewhere. List me your games that are public. No. Because I don't have any. Also, don't form that as a question, not a command. So I guess inventory was null there. Or no, is it saying transfer payload is null? Why is transfer payload null? Transfer payload. Well, oh yeah, that is null. How did that break? I guess I moved that and never wired it back again. Oops. Okay. Fix that real quick. Oopsies. So just pop Pop that in there. Ooch. Anywhere else that looks null? Empty. Line tray. Okay, yeah, let's see if that does it. There we go. Okay, so that's what dropping an item in the world looks like. And this is just my test level. My actual world is much larger. It's like a procedural, completely procedural and stuff. I wanted to get the quantity on the shader, but it turns out like doing text in a material is actually kind of non-trivial. I never knew. But yeah, you can pick it up, you can drop it, pick it up. And then there's like these player buildable areas, which goddamn, that looks like shit. It kind of looks better. Yeah, it looks better on this side. Yeah, the lighting is affecting that quite heavily. But imagine a bunch of cubes there. So I can also take this and then drop it into the area and then like, so that just, oh, did it drop 2? Oh no. Wait, and it only stacked to 15? Oh yeah, things are broken all right. I can't even grab it. Also supposed to say, oh, apparently there's only 1 mushroom there. Oh yeah, it's broken all right. That one worked. That's how it's supposed to work. Yeah, you can drop it in there. I can do it with wood too here. So it should like automatically stack it too. So wood's actually only allowed to stack to 20, even though I have 1,000 in here. That was 16. But see, now it's 20, so it's stacked into there, and I think it may be... Oh, it didn't overflow, did it? It just deleted the rest of my... Or no, it didn't. It stayed in my inventory. So there's 11 there. You know, I'll drop that in there, so now there's 22 in there, 20, and that kind of stuff. That needs some work. There's some edge cases there I'm not handling. But that's the... So these are like storage areas. And then, you know, once you get some more resources and technology, you can build a little chest. And the shaders look horrible with the lighting. I'll need to adjust that, but... And you can put stuff in storage as well. So these storages have, I don't know, you probably can't see that very well, YouTube Shorts, but it's the same thing as here. Storage settings. So you can allow and disallow things. Then there's priorities. So you might have one storage might be, you know, this is just out in the open, so things would take durability damage being out in the open, potentially. Or, so you might have like a lower or higher priority thing. You might set that to lower. But yeah, I need to figure out what in here, which items in here belong in here. Maybe they belong in a different, better storage for them. So that is the kind of items for now, world items now. And I think I determined what I needed to. And this isn't going to be called all the time, and I think I can probably pretty effectively get the... I can probably pretty effectively get the closest building. And so I have this chunk processor, and I can maybe turn this on to show. Let's turn on... I have that in... what is this? Oh, that's all the... Yeah, that's all the stuff that I said was broken. We'll do that later. Side quest. So let's look at chunk processor. Turn on debug. And we can probably... We can spawn like a bunch of guys here too. So... Yeah, so you can see the world has these chunks, and this is how... I needed to like hyper optimize their aggro radius, which was actually very difficult because none of these actually have like collision turned on or anything. It's all like my home rolled stuff. So I had to get a little inventive. But that's what that looks like. And so I can, instead of iterating over every single entity in the world, I can only iterate over the local ones within the chunk radii, within the chunks within the proper radius. Where, so yeah, there's a query thing on here, and I'm thinking maybe the queries should exist on a different class. I don't want to have to, this is just going to get longer and longer the more specific queries I write for this. I already have 2 calc entity chunk locate. Well, no, that's a different one. I guess just 1 calc entity chunk chords and radius. Although I know that there is a closest entity hostile towards entity chunk chords and radius. Entity chunk locations. Yeah, so I need to calculate the chunks. Get chunks within radius, pass it in there. Out entities is a targetable, which is an entity and location. Which I think we can do that. So I think the first thing we need to do is actually just populate the location when we create entity for the building. When do we do that? There we go. So yeah, we are. Oh, we already at it. Oh, look at me. Oh, look at me. Wow. Look at me. That was so smart of me to already do that. Cool. So that's good. Those are going to end up in the chunk processor, I believe. I don't know that I want a direct. I mean, fuck it. We will just do this live. So drop item. World item actor. Let's make a pointer to the U chunk processor. Forward declare it. And then we'll say chunk processor equals get world, or though rather in world get auth game mode. Pass that to a my game mode. And we will get processor by class U chunk processor entity chunk processor. Good, 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 good. So slap that in there. So we should have that by this point. Chunk processor entity query. So hold that thought for a second, because we need chunk processor calc entity chunk chords in radius. Yeah. So, and then I'll probably want a, this is world item subsystem. Let's go to game mode. Let's go to game mode. And this is a good opportunity to use the new static settings object. So game mode, I want a setting for building data. Do I have a section for this already? I don't know. This is like colony logic data or something. A lot of these are just effects. GCD kind of belongs in game settings probably. I guess let's toss it in game settings for now. So it is going to be a float. And this is, we'll just make this, what radius within, let's come up with a name first. This is item belongs to colony radius. And so what do we want that to be? What is the radius within which, if you drop an item, that will belong to the colony? So another reason I want to do this, so if you think of a game like a RimWorld, if you drop something, like RimWorld, let me back up. I got to back up a lot here. In RimWorld, a lot of the difficulty is based on this wealth value. The wealth value is a calculation of all the colonists you have, all the items you have, all the structures you have. And in RimWorld, it's you have just like a single tile map. And so it's like everything on that tile that's not just like a natural grown object like a tree or a bush or something contributes to your wealth. And so if you drop something, even if you like disallow it or something, it's still contributing to your wealth. So that kind of prevents players from like gaming the system, because the raids that happen to your base are based off of your wealth value. The strength is. So the higher your wealth is, the harder the raids are. And so you want to be a little mindful of your wealth. You don't want to just collect items just to collect them. You only want to collect things you need and will use. Keep that wealth value down. It's kind of like the meta game of RimWorld, but I'll digress on that point. In my game, the world is much larger. So it's not going to be just a single tile, which would make it easy. It's going to be a very large open world. So I do need some cutoff. And, you know, if players want to like kind of game the system, yeah, if they don't want a bunch of items, they can just go drop them off in the middle of it. Like in RimWorld, you'd have to destroy the items in some way, and there are ways to do that. And I think maybe make this radius large enough to where it's more efficient to destroy them than it is to just leave them in the world somewhere. But just drop them off in the middle of the world. But also not too far so that you don't understand that it's contributing to your wealth, right? Because if it's too far, you're going to be like, oh, there was some like fucking... someone accidentally dropped a legendary item, you know, off in the forest, and that is making my wealth spike or something. Because I probably will do something along those lines where a collection of everything you have will determine how you get rated. I think I want to do it a little bit differently. I was thinking of a system where I would have agendas or initiatives for raids, and that would determine... and maybe even like an information system, like depending on how much information that faction has on your base. There's a puppy dog at my feet. So a chunk size is 3,000, I think, is what I made it. So taking that into account. Yeah, 3,000. A terrain chunk is 12,000. I think 12,000 kind of makes sense, because that's like, you can see it off in the distance. Maybe 10,000? Maybe let's go 10,000 to start off. 10,000 to start off. Does C++ have the ability to do that? No, it doesn't. Okay. In Java, you can like do something like that. Okay, but we have that. I think that's what I want to do. Rule number 4 of the badass pirate code: never take something that doesn't belong to you. Well, that doesn't sound very piratey. I thought pirates were all about taking what doesn't belong to them. I thought that was the whole idea. Where is my begin play or whatever? Here we go. Yeah, so I want a static class to be able to grab game mode stuff off of, so I don't have to like grab the world and pass world context everywhere. And so here, static inline float, and what did I call it? Item belongs to colony radius. Pop that in there, and then we'll just go ahead and make like a blueprint callable version of it. And then we can set it from here. Blueprint callable. Let's make this blueprint pure as well. And then, yeah, we can add a category for game settings on there for sure. Interesting to see piracy spike as streaming platform sub costs skyrocket. Can't say I'm mad about it. First of all, welcome in, Adder. Hope you're well. I don't see the correlation. Piracy. Piracy of what? Okay, but we want to pass in the First of all, we need the location. So that would be transform dot get location. What's our next param here? Paramy boy is radius. So you game settings. Get item belongs to radius. Hello? Oh, get item belongs to colony radius. Sorry. Apologies. T-array f int vector chunks chunk locations, or no, it's chunk chords, right? Yeah, chunk chords. Lots of people cutting their streaming subs and turning to gray area streaming mirrors. I was unaware. What would the gray area streaming mirrors provide? Like an adless experience? I am of the uninitiated on this matter. Junk chords, show me data salad. Ignored entities, so that can be empty, and then we need out entities as well. T-array. F targetable, out entities. It would be nice to have a built-in filter on this. Or like entity type, but I'll digress on that. Add list sub free unlimited access to gated content from dude, I was thinking when you said streaming and sub, I was thinking like Twitch. I wasn't thinking Netflix and HBO. Now that makes more sense. I get what you're talking about now. Yeah. I mean, I have I know of free stream. I know of these streaming sites. I will neither confirm nor deny that I have used them. I know of such free stream sites that have been around forever. Thankfully, I've got a pretty good network of like family that like we kind of each have a subscription to something and then we just share it, you know? So that covers most of my bases. Anyways, out entities. So we want to go through here for each out entity, which is a F targetable. A targetable is just an entity with a location. That's it. That's all it is. Kind of packaged up nicely. So I want to go through each of these and I'll say if, first of all, I need to know if it's a building, which I think I was saying I don't know if it's a building yet. So we should create some entity data, and I think probably building settings is probably, there's a struct, yeah, building object. This is probably what I will eventually make. This is very building data-y, so I think that's eventually what I'll make it. What I'll put into the building data. For now, I'm just gonna add basically a tag type here. Fucking banger song right now. This is building entity data. Pragma once, include building, I can spell it right, entity data dot generated F building entity make it blueprintable while we're at it. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that. Add get ref F building entity data for this entity on the builder, and then we're all Gucci there. So what we need to do here is now if auto building data equals ECS, or no, we can just do the ECS has data, because that's going to be a tag, so we're not even going to actually have that. Import that has, I forgot I changed it to super short, so F building entity data for targetable dot entity. So if it is a building, and then let's grab the dist. Thank you. If dist less than get item belong to colony radius, Then we add it to that colony and we break. But adding it to that colony, I don't have that yet. Yeah, so I don't actually need to... Yeah, that's all wrong, basically. I do want to break at some point, though, so we'll just leave that in there. That's the way to sub to the big few platforms, like 120 plus a month right now. Yeah, it's like we're back to cable subscriptions, because like that's what they used to be back in the day. And it's like, well, I don't need all these channels. And then the industry was like, okay, hold my beer. And then we made it all the way back. We made it all the way back. But at least you can watch them on like any device now. That's a huge bonus. You don't need them to ship you like a fucking cable box modem. And then like some people had like the on-demand and stuff. All the YouTube shorts are like, what's on-demand? What is that? Y'all ever remember the Sling TV? That was I guess Sling TV still exists. Oh, TiVo, that's what it was. Yes, TiVo. My parents still use TiVo. That's still a company. It's insane. Yeah. My dad just watches YouTube now. That's it. I don't even think he watches the news. Good for him. Okay, anyways. So I need to somehow tag that this dropped item. Well, I guess I just need to grab the... So I need to find the near, or do I just go for the first one? Because the first one that I get here isn't necessarily going to be the closest one. Sorry, one sec. Okay. Do I actually want to find the... I guess this isn't gonna... let's just... we'll stress test this. Let's find the nearest one. We will find the nearest. And I can do a disk squared here. F entity... Well, we'll do F targetable. No, F entity. Nearest, and then float, nearest, dist, float max. So if dist less than nearest dist and less than or equal to the radius, then we have one that's closer, so we will set nearest dist equal to dist and nearest equal to targetable entity. We won't break. But then after this, I do need to grab the nearest and like, how am I going to store? Do I need to store this, or do I just need to increment the hash? I think I need both. Or am I just gonna cache the result? So what I could do, rather than storing this information... No, I do need to store it somehow, some way, somewhere. So back to whatever this storage struct is gonna be. F colony task data. Or maybe it's just like colony... Colony world items data. Cache hash. Initialize that to 0. So I guess I need to grab the if nearest is valid. Ooh, that's interesting. So there could be some that aren't valid. Oh fuck! And then what if you build something? Oh no! Oh no! I have to recheck it anytime a building is built as well. Oh no. This makes me think that I only should have the hash, or only increment the hash, and I shouldn't recalculate it. Because then I also, when a building is built, for real and not a blueprint placed, I would need to increment this hash for every colony within the radius of the building. Shit. Maybe I should do a course radius. That would make this a little bit more efficient. And by course radius, what I mean is I don't do the additional. So what this does here, I don't think does this check radius? No, this doesn't actually explicitly check radius. So these two right here give me a course radius where it just gives me the square chunks within the radius. It doesn't actually give me the fine-grained circle. So that's why I do the additional distance check in here to get that fine-grained circle. Now, I could ignore that and do kind of a course check, which it wouldn't be that off. It wouldn't be that off. And if I'm going to do it anytime a building is built, that would be better. But it's not like there's going to be like hundreds of buildings getting built or hundreds of items getting dropped in a single frame. Maybe premature optimization is a thing here. Are you writing code to destroy a pay-to-win server? Yeah, that's why I'm talking about colonists and buildings and radius, yeah. Radii, sorry. Although this isn't that much. Okay, we'll do this. Yeah, just get it, make it work first. Make it work first. And I suppose I'd want a closest item instance entity location. So this is just iterating over all of the ISMCs. So I think what I would want to do here is grab colony world items data, and I guess just for any colony that I haven't, I'll add it to any colony. That way the first colony that gets it, right? And I guess I'm not even checking that these are the same colony at all, so that's good. I should probably maintain a list of colonies that I've seen. T-set of, what's my colony identifier? I guess it's colony name. Huh. Okay, F name. Colonies. Scene colonies. If we have building entity data. Ooh, I suppose I should just put the pointer on here. Yamio, welcome. Yeah, I guess I want to grab the pointer off here. So let's do this then. U property, T object pointer, a building object actor, building actor. I will want to, or declare that probably. Oh dear. What? Why did you guys break? What? That's not right. Yeah, let me rebuild here. There's no way that that is correct. What on earth did I do to deserve that? Use dynamic mesh for the terrain? Yes. Originally it was procedural mesh, but ditched that. I may end up changing from the dynamic mesh. We'll see. I may use there's the voxel plugin, which I think most people who are interested in procedural terrain know of, but there's a voxel core. That's what the plugin's name is, and that one's just free, and it's just on GitHub, and that has a what is it, Nanite Mesh Builder or something like that? Nanite. Or is it Voxel Nanite? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Voxel Nanite Builder. So I actually used this to merge all my static meshes into one. So I was baking static meshes at runtime, which is what this is capable of. It makes a static mesh at runtime that is Nanite. So I may try to use that and see how that goes. It'll be quite a bit more difficult to like do deformations, but I'm gonna look into that. It'll be more difficult to use, but potentially more efficient. And there are some drawbacks of using dynamic mesh components, like no sign distance fields, and they're not Nanite, mainly. Do you remember having to handle vertices not being properly pixel interpolated? You know, I wouldn't know if they were or weren't. Okay, so that did build successfully. So writer is wrong here. Can I get a refresh on this file, please? The only work I've done on, and I can show it, is my landscape auto material. So that would be the only place that would have come into play. Yeah, Mio. Is this it? Yeah, so this is my landscape auto material, and I do use the vertex interpolator. So I don't know, maybe I don't know how to discern whether they are or aren't. I'll just show the terrain and maybe you can see. So yeah, there is my, and this is it is vertex color, but there is some pixel space blending happening from what I can understand. And this is kind of outside my wheelhouse. This is just what I was able to get done here. So I can like show. Like this is the vertex data. So those are all the vertices. And I colored them based on their material. I don't know. Is there something specific I can show you to determine whether or not that's happening? Oh, your answer already tells me that you didn't have the issue. You would know. Pretty visible. Okay. I'm also, I will say, heads up, world aligned texture helps quite a bit. Because I was having quite a bit of stretching UVs. And the world aligned texture is not perfect for the stretching UVs, but it was better than not doing it. Oh, and I fucked up this material. This isn't supposed to be super tiled. But yeah. Speaking of free plugins, did you see the recent community push to bring back RTXGI? Yeah, I was shouting from the rooftops about that whenever I first heard it. Because it's only in like 5.3, I think is the max or something. Arc Raiders working with NVIDIA and pushing their advancements back to the public 5.0 release. Yeah, I wish. I guess there have just been some pretty drastic changes in the rendering pipeline that made RTXGI difficult to port forward past a certain release. I thought it was 5.3. Maybe it was 5.0. But yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Although I'm pretty happy without Lumen, to be honest with you. Like, this is no Lumen here. super laggy when all the debug drawings were on screen there. And I should turn off the chunk processor. I haven't seen the sky yet. Looks dope. Yeah, that was one of the, oh Jesus. Well, not so dope anymore, but yeah, that was one of the free for the week things. So I just kind of chucked it in there. Oh yeah, now we're debug drawing every chunk that an entity is in. Let's try to hit this guy from downtown. Nice, got him. Arc Raider said it working in 5.3, but the public was limited to 5.0. Ah, I see. That's where the distinction is. We didn't get the Arc Raider tools nor all of their advancements. There's an effort to provide a community update coming soon. Oh yeah, where's the effort happening at? Like who is doing that? Nvidia, Epic, someone else? Probably gonna try out the RTX GI again. It wasn't sold when it was prototyped in 427, but it's come a long way. Yeah, I would be interested to see visual comparisons, because honestly, like, you probably know more than anyone else here as the lighting expert, but you know, me being a layman, when I look at a scene that's Lumen versus a scene that's not, I will say the Lumen one does look better, but not better enough to warrant the performance cost in my mind. Tech director on Overwatch is working on it as a passion project. Oh hell yeah. In a private Discord. Ah, you got one of those fucking backdoor speakeasy Discord servers, huh? Okay. Yeah, well, you can be our inside guy. Yeah, definitely would love to check that out too. We'll see how much better that looks, and you know, there will be a performance cost to it, right? Over not using global illumination at all. So we'll see if that warrants the niceties of what it provides. Anyways, yeah, let's get back to work here. Back to the test level. And we can turn off our chunk debug too. You can go away. You can go away too. Lumen is massively noisy and tons of overhead. I'd hoped for more improvement by now. I'm still using a stack of hacks to make it work for MS2. What hacks do you have to do? Hacks for performance improvement? Or this noisiness that you're talking about? Okay, so if we have building data near blah, 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 building data, I do want to get the building, right? Well, I want to get the yeah, so the colony is on the building. Maybe I put the fucking colony owner here or something too. Because right now the colony belongs to colony. That's just on the, and I'm going to change this to, it's used in blueprints though. Okay, we're not going to change that yet. There's a bigger refactor coming to buildings. Coming soon. Building data, building actor. We'll do a check here just to make sure. Just to make sure. Building data, building actor belongs to colony. So we want to grab colony data here. I need colony. What did I call it? Colony world items data. Get or add, actually. Get or add, yeah. Get or add. Okay, it's incomplete. Import it. And are we returning a pointer? No, we're returning a ref. Good, okay. Only world items data. And then I guess we add a list of entities here. T-array? Should it be T-array? Because then I have to probably remove from here as well. Oh yeah, and then we don't even... the world items are not entities at the moment. And maybe they should be. Do you remember UE5 having any tri-mesh debug viz? All my searches points to no. I have no idea. I do know that I tried out some tri-mesh interpolation nodes and just checked out what that looked like, but they did not look as good as... Once I got there, they were harder to use, harder to get working, and they did not look as good as the world-aligned textures, which I think does a triplanar mapping, if that's the kind of thing you're looking for. We have some source changes for performance and ghosting. Ooh, I want those ghosting changes for TAA. I haven't fixed the noise, and I use a decent amount of skylight leak to hide DF-based occlusion errors. What is DF? Depth field? Tri-mesh is the chaos cooking for collisions. Oh, okay. Yeah, no idea. No idea for that then. I thought you were talking about like triplanar mapping. Depth field. Distance field, I see. Like sign distance field. SDF. Occlusion errors. Huh. I don't know that I have the eye to notice any of those. What would a depth field occlusion error look like? Anyways, world items array. I guess I'm storing... I need to drop the item. Which, now I want this to return the item instance. I actually need that information now. Unless I make these be entities. Yeah, this would be the combo that I need. The ISMC it came from. Although I think I have... Yeah, I have a map. If I have the item, I can look it up. But I guess I don't have the item, that's the thing. I wouldn't have the item. I'd have to do like a line trace to get it. So yeah, I suppose I would want to store that. I would want to store... Skylight leak into a dark cave in the form of light blue polka dots. Oh, weird. Yeah, I think the light blue polka dots wouldn't, those wouldn't match the aesthetic of Mortal Shell very much, would they? Just turn it into a rave. Turn that into a deep cave rave. Walking through dark cave and bam, lots of big dot of random blue on the ceiling. Huh. That's strange. I've never seen something like that. But I guess you're still wanting to use Lumen despite all that. Yeah, wait, am I maintaining this or no? I'm getting confused. Colony world items data. Wasn't I just saying to not calculate this? Just for any... Let me go back through here. I guess these scene colonies can just be an F entity, actually. That's the... Scene colonies... Oh yeah, big time? Okay. I may loathe Lumen's mini quirks, but I love the workflow gains. Yeah, I guess I've never shipped a fucking game before, so I don't really understand. Don't understand the workflow gains. It is weird. I guess it's just because it's like with things like Nanite, and I guess you're probably saying the same with Lumen, the workflows have improved. You know, one of those improvements is on the line of developer time. But it seems like games are just costing more and more to make. And, I mean, everything is more expensive now, so it sort of makes sense. But on the one hand, I would think that the current games ecosystem would be a bit different based on that. I have to do a lot less work massaging baked lighting or making flat interiors look good. Because without directional light or some form of specular, everything feels like chalk. What keyboard do you use? I use a virtual keyboard for the sounds called Mech Vibes. For a lighting team of one, it was all about time spent to results and then make it fit in the box. Yeah, I guess I'm not using baked lighting at all. It's all like dynamic lighting. I just don't use dynamic global illumination, I suppose. Because like none of my shit is static. I think I don't understand really, because there's static, stationary, and movable, right? Static is like baked lighting, right? And then stationary is like, I thought that was dynamic lighting that just doesn't change. And then movable is like dynamic lighting that gets recalculated all the time. That was my understanding of it. Dynamic non-lumen works great, but I quickly ran into a wall of not having the performance headroom to get the soft cinematic lighting the directors wanted. I see. Yeah, that's all like 5-head stuff that I'm not tuned into. Lumen adds the soft fills without needing a point light. See, I don't even know what that means. Can't even picture what you're talking about right now. I wish I could. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. I know it would be hard to explain, but could you try to explain how to write code very briefly? I see all the if functions, but what the fuck is all the other words? Yeah, all of these are other words that I've written elsewhere. Basically, most of them are. So usually when you're writing code, you kind of start with a programming language, and that has a bunch of built-in words. And once you've learned one programming language, these built-in words, they're different across languages, but the functionality is the same. You have some base data types. You have things like a Boolean, which is a true-false value. You have an integer, which is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. You have a float, which is like a decimal point value. You have an array, which is just a collection of one of those other data. You have a string, which are just like which are your characters, like ASDF, fucking emojis, numbers go in there too. A string is just text, right? And so you have kind of these base data types, and then you have these collection data types, like an array, which allows you to store multiple of those. And then usually with arrays are things you want to loop through, like a for loop, which is what you see here. So right now I'm looping through a list of entities that I have come up with. These entities represent things in the world, and I'm checking if it is a building thing that it is being represented with, each one. If it is a building thing, I want to check if I've seen a building of the same colony already. If I have, I want to skip it. If I haven't, I'm going to add it to the list of things I've seen and do some stuff with it. Are you making UE5 game? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So with these data types, you create variables and functions that you name, right? Like I created some of these other functions for entity query, right? This does the query in the world to get all the entities within a radius. So it's just all the other words are things I've come up with, that I've written on top of the programming language built-in words, which are functions, variables, data types, that kind of stuff. Hope that makes it a bit more clear. Yeah, a lot of code is just using other people's code in a way. That's how we make progress in the industry. Like this one is like a built-in one. A vector distance check. A vector is a 3D point in space in Unreal Engine. So I'm checking the distance between a couple different locations. But this would be like a built-in one that's provided by Unreal Engine. Basically everything else on here is stuff I've written though, in this one specifically. Yeah, let me lock back in. Let me dial in here. So I think, didn't I say I just wanted to invalidate the cache here, but then also I wanted to, it was in the hall, yeah, well no, it was in here, get closest item instance. I should probably check within a certain radius too. And if I'm gonna do that, these items should be, God, I almost want chunks based on what the entity represents. Otherwise, my entity queries are going to substantially decrease in performance. And I don't think it wouldn't take up that much more memory. God, that's gonna be a pain in the ass to do, isn't it? I should do that for scalability. So right now, I only thought I would ever put like NPCs in the chunks. But now I'm putting buildings in there, and now I'm also thinking about putting world items in there. Adder, when are you going to make a game with forward rendering? I want to see the Adder forward rendering lighting pipeline. Yeah, I should do that. I probably fucking should do that. Yeah, I didn't think I don't think I was ready to do Colonist priorities today because I need to do some additional setup here. COD World War II? Like World at War 2? You did that? That was forward rendering. Oh, Call of Duty World. Oh, okay. Did I play this? I might have played this. I think I played this on the fucking Wii. Lead lighter on COD World War II. Hell yeah. Redfall was forward too? Okay. So it's not that long ago you worked in the pipeline. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I played this. Was this on the Wii? No, not AI mode. Yeah, it was on the Wii. Yeah, because I had the little gun attachment. It was fun. It was actually pretty fun. Oh dear God. Gamers will look at it, will be like, dude, look how good games used to look back. Well, let's maybe not look at the Wii version. Be like, dude, look how good games used to look back then. And now they're all blurry pieces of shit because of Nanite and Lumen. Okay, that I wanted to open in new tab and it just it just downloaded it. World at War was a legendary project. I had fun with it. The zombies was super fun. COD 4, the original COD 4 Modern Warfare, that was my legendary. Modern Warfare 2 kind of fell off on it. Adder, I need you to do a dissection of Threat Interactive's breakdowns on Unreal Engine rendering. Not many people used to know this, but COD World War II used the first iteration of DLSS before it was called DLSS and publicly known as a buzzword. Ooh. We ran the game at 1080p and called it 4K. AI go burr, I guess. See, this is World at War. Yeah. Like, I see a lot of talk online, like on Reddit and stuff, where like there's an entire I don't know if you know this subreddit, but there's a subreddit called Fuck TAA. And I do get the complaints on one side, but they will straight up look at they're like, MSAA was so close to perfect. They should have just kept going with that instead of doing deferred rendering. But then I started looking into the difference between forward and deferred rendering, and I don't think gamers understand. They're like, games used to look so good, and it's like back during this era, I feel like that most people are talking about. They're going back to this era of forward rendering looking things, being like, look, this used to look so good. And dare I open this? Okay, yeah. Like, dude, this used to look so good. Games used to look so good. And when I've looked into like forward rendering and stuff, like you just couldn't have noisy scene. Like you couldn't have very busy scenes. You couldn't have very many dynamic lights. And so I don't think gamers understood that, like, that devs had to hyper optimize the shit out of forward rendering and hide all of its drawbacks and make scenes specifically around the lighting drawbacks. Like, they couldn't have super busy scenes like we can have now today with deferred rendering, from my understanding. Max overlap 3 lights, yeah. I spent months just fixing light overlaps before ship. Yeah, see, that's the thing that the players don't see. And I'm sure that there is a budget of the amount of detail, the amount of clutter that you can have in a scene because of that, right? I assume that would take the max overlaps down. I get the complaints, but threads crack me up. People don't understand what, forward plus deferred actually means. It's one of the order, it's just the order of shader operations. I don't understand rendering very much, but my read on it was something about like it was creating like buffers beforehand or something before it actually did the rendering or something. Every triangle was scrutinized. COD was disgustingly optimized. Every O1 MS was looked into. Yeah, see, that's the thing that, like, we can have scenes now that you just straight up couldn't have back then. And gamers don't see the difference. They just look at the blur and the performance cost and be like, well, just make it look like it. Just do this same scene in forward rendering. It's like, no, you can't. You couldn't. At least that's my read on it. Like I said, this has come from someone who doesn't understand rendering very well. And they'll look at a scene like this and then compare this scene to, like, take this scene and then make it in deferred rendering with TAA or TSR and Lumen. And they're like, it runs like shit. It's like, well, yeah, this scene was hyper optimized for forward rendering. Like, the scene just wouldn't even be made the same. It would look completely different with modern technologies. There'd be different objects in the scenes, different, like you said, different lighting, different lights and stuff like that. Had to be, or people would find something to complain about. There's plenty of advances in the forward rendering that allows a decent deal of lights and stuff. But would you be capable of doing the same kind of scenes that you can do in deferred rendering setups? When I looked into it, it sounded like no. Like there was still... Deferred rendering still has advantages, performance advantages in busier scenes. If only this game wasn't made in UE5 is the best line, yeah. Forward plus is pretty dope, and that's how UE operates now. Can't actually turn off deferred. Yeah, so forward is actually forward plus, yeah. I don't really understand the difference, but I have read that somewhere. But yeah, I remember I was playing around with the lighting settings in my game when I was taking my break, when I was doing the skybox stuff. And I didn't really understand the difference in the anti-aliasing settings. I think I do have a much better understanding of them now, but I think I just had it set on FAA. And when I would move, the foliage would, it would be super pixely. Like, it would be like, it looked like shit whenever you moved. And of course the foliage has like wind playing on it, so the foliage is moving at all times. It's just super shimmery, super jittery looking on the screen. Looks like shit. I turned on TAA. I'm like, holy shit, this looks amazing. Like, just out of the box looks fucking amazing. Because now everything's really soft on the screen. There's no hard edges. It looks great. But then with certain lighting setups, the ghosting comes into play. And there is a noticeable blur when you're running around. Things do get out of focus. But I still think that looks, I mean, that looks way fucking better than FAA or SMAA or MSAA. In my mind, it still looks better. As long as the ghosting isn't fucking horrible, it looks way better. Defer just adds render buckets that can be referenced after a base render pass. So shaders can get info from the first pass, run a calc, and apply it to a second pass before the frame is done rendering. This allows for lighting to take into account for material colors for accurate lighting, cooler outline shaders, shader-based foliage movement, etc. It's the same shift as forward, just more passes to a single frame for shaders to reference. Lighting is in a separate pass. Yeah, see, even that, what you're saying is pretty over my head. Like, I think I understand individually what you're saying, but what effect that actually has on screen, I can't picture. I hope I can get there someday. Let me figure out what the fuck I was gonna do here. I think the decision I need to make is if I'm storing these results somewhere or not. Yeah, so there is going to be a cached version. Yeah, I don't know that I want to come up with this right now. I think this is the kind of thing where I want to clear it and then re-add it. So I think really what I want to just do here is increment the cache hash. And it's cache version is probably the better term here, actually. And I don't care about nearest anymore, because we're going to do this for every colony that's near us. And then I maybe even want to put a function on this struct. Damn, I don't understand any of this. Welcome to game dev. Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, I maybe want to put some functions on this struct to actually invalidate the hash and everything. And so I think I'll do something like array f entity get world items, and then I would want to pass in a hash version, or just a version, right? Wait, yeah, because each colonist would be passing in their version in here. Say if version not equal to cache version, we will do the recalculation, or rather, let's do this. Then we will do the recalculation. And so I think I maybe also want to, where is it? It's in here, get closest item instance. And maybe I don't make them entities right now. Although it would be nice to not have to get all ISMCs. Yeah, it would be, I should make these entities, unfortunately. Instance transform. Yeah, I suppose I just need to look up the things here. These are all going to be in the colony, although I don't know what the colony is from this perspective, so I think I have to pass in the colony entity here. And this is going to not be const, because we are going to set... Well, actually, we're going to return here. Yeah. Then we're going to do something like, call it like calculate world items, passing in the colony entity. Calculate world items. And we do want to forward the, no, we don't forward the version. We're going to increase the cache version. I kind of want to return, let's return the new version here. Then we'll do an out parameter. Out items. Get a ref. Equals world item. Yeah. Do I need to do, actually, I don't think I need to do that, because we can just grab the world items. Although I don't, we should maybe make that. No, this probably makes more sense for the use case. Why is it so painful to read Unreal graphics stuff? Yeah. Graphics devs are kind of clinically insane. It's all like generic, you know? So it's like really difficult to discern what is even happening. And we will increment the cache version and return it. You know, GPU code, very fast, but very inconvenient. Okay, so calculate world items for this colony entity. So I want to say something like, and maybe this needs to go in the CPP file. Do I have that already? No, I don't. Colony entity. Wait, why did I need the colony? Best part is that every crash is a generic error. Yeah, that's the hardest fucking part, man. Like, I have some shader crashes happening now that I find it's like impossible to get to the bottom of, you know? We calculate world items. I guess we just like go get all of them within. It actually is a lot easier to just maintain the list. It's gonna take more memory, but it's gonna be like way fucking easy. Yeah, it's gonna be like, I should just maintain the list. Because otherwise, how do I even come up with the items? I would have to go over every building and check. So I think it's just easier to fucking do this. Entity is size 8, 16 for a T array. If I did a T set, 80. I mean, and this is per colony, so it's not that much. It's not that much. And the T set is going to scale a lot better than the T array. Take up a little bit more data, though. Now I need to refactor the world items into entities. So that's going to be next on the list, I think. So Item to drop. Yeah, we probably need to create, yeah, we need to like call this bool. I guess we can just return true once we get here, because we'll do something like something like this. So we'll drop it first. If we were if it was not successful. Well, so now that we're doing this, let's actually, there is no world item actor. We will return false there as well. Are you coding the same game? What do you mean? Let's reduce the nesting a little bit here. And we can probably just do an or. Okay, so when we drop item, this is a blue, no it's not, never mind. Okay, I do, yeah, this, I am in the blueprint item, or the blueprint function, sorry. So I think this, I maybe want to return the entity. Where else are you called from, sir? Only there. That is exactly what I wanted to see. So F entity, we will need to create a new entity when we drop it. Add item instant. We're just indiscriminately returning true here. We do get the primitive instance ID. I will need that. So we get the ISMC and the ID. So I do want to make a colony world items data. I guess I just need a world items entity, world item entity data now too. Okay, pragma once. F world item entity data. I just make everything blueprintable and blueprint type because it's so annoying to have to add that later. Don't know if that's the right move. We definitely need a T object pointer of, yeah, the item itself would be nice to have. Then the ISMC, call that world item ISMC. Can we store it a world item? Do I have a specific type for that? I do, there it is. The world item ISMC. Why are you angry? Oh yeah, ignore. And then we want the primitive instance ID. Instance ID. So we will go auto ref world item data entity data equals get ref. Yeah, create entity too. Perfect. Although I think we're going to store that elsewhere. So hang on. Create that entity. Add it. World item entity data. Add get ref. Yeah, then we can populate everything. World item ISMC. Dot instance ID equals new line. Okay. So after that, we return the world item entity, and we are good to go. So we just need to check if that's valid, which it basically always would be. at this point. So actually 0 point to check it for validity here. F entity world item entity. Okay, so world item entity, we just add that in. Now we have all the information we need. I hope. What happens to this item here? Get or add ISMC. Do I store it somewhere? I don't, I do, okay. Item to ID. So I have a little hash map there, which maybe we can probably get rid of that actually now. But that'll take some additional refactor. So throw to do in here, to do refactor to entity, to world item entity storage. Okay, so world item, we just have that down. We can look up now, we have a T set of F entity, we can add, we can remove, we can bing, we can bang, and we can boom. But now when we pick up the item, we need to remove it. What are you building? Video game. Gonna be Colony Sim RPG Roguelite. And I'm working on kind of caching some of the dropped items in the world to nearby colonies so that I can optimize my hauling calculation, my hauling priority, individual colonists hauling things. I don't want to have to query the world each time, basically, because they're gonna have priorities, and if there's nothing to do, they're gonna need to check all those priorities pretty frequently. Need any help? No, I'm all good. I am all good. I will ask questions if I have them, though. Pick up item. That can return null. That can return null. So we do want to say bool success. Return success. Oh no, we return. Oh yeah, we return the U my item. That makes a lot more sense. If item. Oh, is that not? That's not in the same scope? Okay, interesting. If item. Maybe we can do that then, and we can just let it fall through if that's the case. Okay, so yeah, if we've picked up the item, I need to remove it from the entity cache. With the information I have here, I don't actually know what the entity is. Awesome. Wishing you the best on all this. We'll actively be waiting for it. Don't hold your breath. It's going to be like 10 fucking years if it comes out. Definitely going to share it with a bunch of friends and try it out. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Actually, we might as well continue with the guard. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so I need to store pickup item. Let me look at this here. Wait, what? Not used. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Maybe it is. Build pickup item. Yeah, what is... well, it would be... Isn't there a world... Yeah, world item actor. Oh, you don't do anything. Wait, nope, wrong ones. Wrong ones. Pick up item. Add item instance, remove instance for item, get instance item. It's probably in here somewhere. I thought... Does this not have shit on it? Oh, dude, I totally forgot where I put all this stuff. World map, is there... Which one of these functions fucking does it? That's for the building area. Ah, yes. Ah, we do it generically. Right. The pop instance, we don't actually use the subsystem function anywhere. I should probably delete that then. Yeah, I should probably delete that then if that's not used. Okay, delete, so I don't get fucking confused again. But yeah, it's on the world item ISMC. I have 3 different things. World item subsystem, world item actor, world item ISMC. And this was used where? Remove instance for item. Okay, that was just specifically for the area. Pop instance item is on the interact. And the world item pickup item, which is not used anywhere either. Delete that. So yeah, it's just on interact, which sounds correct. So the pop instance item is actually what needs to do it. ID to item. So that, yeah, I need to change this. I have to change this. So this should be ID to entity. So I can do like a reverse lookup. I don't need the core redirect. And this needs to be entity to ID. Well, no, I have that. That's just stored in entity data now. So I only need to maintain that one, really. Okay, so if we get the add item instant. Wait, where are you called from? Oh yeah, this is handle. Yeah, so I handle that outside in the actor. Maybe I shouldn't. Although I do need to forward the entity through. Thank you for the sub, my dude. Welcome. Yeah, I think I do. We don't need that anymore. Yeah, I need it here because I need to maintain that list. Brad, ISMC. And then the instance ID, maybe not actually. And then I think add item instance. I guess I don't actually need the item for anything. I need the entity passed in. That's the key. Which is never going to be null. Is never going to be null. Okay, so that works a lot better. Oh wait, I never added the item on here. Okay. Do you think a maid hiring app can work in India? What made you think a white guy would have any perspective on that? I'm curious. What? How would I know that, man? I'm looking to work on it. Honest thoughts, dude. I think you probably know a lot more about whether or not that would work than I do. Item, we need to like change all these to item entity now. And I guess I need to look up the item. World item, entity data. World item entity data, world item, return that, otherwise we will fall through and get to return null pointer. Good. Okay, so if item to ID contains item. Ooh, remove instance for item. Maybe I do need that lookup. Where are you used here? Remove instance for item. God, do we really need this much caching? I'm wondering if item to pick up should probably be changed to an entity payload. Problem with any hiring app, including a maid hiring one, would be the maids will still work with the person outside of your app making money. Yeah. I mean, same goes for a lot of, I don't know, like kind of gig type apps, but it's still possible to make money off of it, right? But yeah, that is a major concern. There are cleaning apps for sure though, where you can hire a cleaner. It's not like you'd have to do it like fucking DoorDash, where it's like the convenience your app provides out, and the money you take from it is so small that the convenience it provides is worth it to just get someone when and where you need it. Or what you need. Happy New Year's. Is the game still called My Project? Oh yeah. Codename My Project. Oh yeah. God, I don't want to have to refactor this whole flow. The pickup action having an item on it. But I think that's probably the right thing to do here. Make pickup item action. How will you compile for ARM assembly? What made you think that that was a thing that I would need to do right now? I think the secret is that I won't. Make pickup item action. Out item. Find item in colony storage. Oh, do I need to store items in storage as entities now too? Find item in, because these items could be in like building containers. Yeah, why even are items view objects? I guess just for inheritance purposes. Yeah. Man, I wanted to shift to better GL library or engine, but my ego is stuck in C++. Good night. Yeah, have a good night, man. Area data stored. It's coming from if the building type is get items in store. Oh, I'm not. Do I need to include def, not C++? My dude, I have no idea what you're talking about, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think I need to account for... I need to add a to-do there on that. Get items in storage. I need to account for containers as well. Find item in colony storage. Yeah, I need to... I think I need to handle building containers here too. And I think all that's gonna, dude, I think I need to refactor a lot of things before I do colony priorities, actually. I'm kind of coming to terms with that. I need to put everything in entity in the ECS. The fucking inventory component, yeah, just, yeah. Oh, wait a second. This is handling it. Oh, this is handling it. I'm going to comment this then so I can read that in the future. Handle building containers with inventories. Yeah, this should all be entity. God, okay. So I think I need to... I've had on my list a refactor to change buildings into entities, which all they really they do have an entity ID, but that's it. None of their data is in entity storage. So that's like kind of part one. Part two is to change each of them as an individual actor, and I probably need to change it to an instant static mesh component. And I'm coming to terms with that now. Well, by coming to terms with, I mean, I think I need to do that now. I think I need to do that now. And then items having a U object to them. I'll need to think about that. Because right now I have item, equipment, weapon, and then some specific ones for like axe, pickaxe, and it's all... Inheritance is kind of nice for that hierarchy. But passing around U object pointers is not very cache coherency. Not very cache coherent. I can't read language name, too bad. Bro, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you're saying that what you're looking at is not C++, that is... I meant I recognize pointers, but I think library is foreign to me. This is Unreal Engine C++. Yeah, it is C++, but it is Unreal Engine's flavor of it, pretty much. Oh, man. So, yeah. Items... I think it makes sense to have... I think it does make sense to have a U-object hierarchy or items to define functionality. But I don't think it should store any data, I guess is probably what I'm thinking of. And then I think you put the F entity ID on here and look up the data based off that. I think it's probably the move. Let me look at... because there's kind of like there's a representation piece of this as well. I know my weapon does a lot of it. That's the main thing that I've done so far. Yeah, for like attach weapon and all this stuff. Yeah, I guess I need to take a step back and think about whether it still makes sense to use U objects and in what capacity here. Because all of the representation, like there is an actor representation, which... do I fucking care about the actor representation anymore? I think I... Oh man, it'll depend on how I do Colonist tree chopping. So I wanted the actors for the... When the player does tree chopping, there I put like these little these invisible wedge shapes on the end of the axe to determine where the chop areas are. I think maybe it makes more sense to have those defined as data rather than like attachments on an actor. So that way when entities are chopping trees, they don't need an actor. They don't need an entire actor fucking spawned for that purpose. I mean, I should know where those wedges exist at based on where the collision happens. Which, goddamn, yeah, I'm gonna need to think through that. Oh shit, I've got a lot to think through. We are getting close to the end of the stream. I got some meetings I gotta get off to, so. Okay, let's type some stuff out here. Oh, I have uncovered things today. Okay, so building entity refactor is one. Refactor is one. I need a building ISMC refactor, and then I need a UMyItem pointer entity data refactor as well. But what capacity, where that begins and ends, this one is a little unbeknownst to me, a little fuzzy there. Building entity refactor, easy enough. ISMC refactor, I think that's harder but straightforward. The UMyItem is not straightforward. That is a little fuzzy to me as to need to determine where slash what UObject is used for. This depends on, let me say this, UObject go away, does a lot of representation related things. UMyWeapon needs an I'll say currently uses an actor for its player representation in order to support tree chopping collision meshes. Should think about changing this. Do not need an actor in order to support Colonist tree chopping. Dude, it's been, I used to have this working, Colonist tree chopping. I was like, back when I was doing behavior trees. I mean, this is like 2 years ago, maybe at this point, when I was first getting into Unreal Engine and first streaming. There was a stream where I had some colonists running around chopping trees, and it was pretty cool. The thing is, like, the behavior trees were just super unperformant, and at that point, I was just spawning skeletal meshes and actors for each NPC, which does not scale for what I want to do. Can I add this channel in the playlist would come back after OpenGL class. Cool. Thank you, man. Yeah, have fun. But yeah, how would that look? For depth per weapon as axes. Well, yeah, it'll need to be a calculation anyways, because I know that I want to have your tree chopping stat affect how much you can tree chop, how deep you can chop. We'll have different chop stats. Yeah, maybe the shape is the same for everything. And then I can just scale it based off of some data. There's the same static mesh for every axe. Then I just scale it based on the data. What else is the U object used for? The use function. Yeah, so this is nice. I do have like I have a food item as well. That has a different use thing, yeah. Game mode, try activate ability, eat food ability. What am I doing here? Instigator optional. Oh, I'm basing it off the item there in the event data. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, so for this eat food, it activates an ability, one of my custom entity ability things. So it would be, I guess it would be nice to just have some entity data that defines the eating food kind of stats, because it's basically like how much health do you gain back and then how much food value do you get from it. So right now I think I just key that off of the class, which is kind of shitty. Probably shouldn't do that. Character. Oxy, come here. Yeah, so then all food items would have the same activate ability or whatever. Okay, but if I don't have, I would need to use, I guess, entity data tags if I don't use U objects. I'll say there is also food item, which activates eat food ability. Would be nice to be able to pass in food in some F food entity data in order to determine eat food functionality. Still using that ECS system or rolled it back to Unreal? Yeah, still. I'm talking about trying to put everything into ECS away from Unreal. Some more things that are still remaining as U objects. Right now, I have a little item hierarchy. I have item, which is just the base class. Equipment is something that's equipable. There is weapon, which is a it's an equipable item that can deal damage. Specific logic for that. I also have food item, which is something you can eat from your inventory. So I have this like use virtual function that I overload for each item type. But I'm thinking that we may just do entity data here. I'll need to think about terrain deformation as well, because I use a pickaxe class too. So I'll need to think through this a little bit hard. I'm just kind of getting some initial thoughts out here before I have to hop off stream. Also, I could use entity data tags to determine item type instead of U object hierarchy. And then I guess I would just, in this case, I would need to have probably just a static use function. That checks the item type tag, which is what it would be. And I'll say switches, like it would be like a switch case statement, switches on the item type tag. To perform the different logic. Which is a little bit different from inheritance, of course. Yeah, and I guess it feels weird here because I'm not using it in like a view or anything, right? Which is where I usually use entity data. All of the representation stuff would be kind of annoying to do, though. We'll have to think more. Yeah, we'll have to think more. I'm gonna hop off, though, so let me find someone to send you guys over to. I have to go to work. Fractal's on. We'll send you guys over to Fractal. A couple of cool guys. I think they stream once or twice a week, maybe. But it's a fun little hangout. So I'm gonna send you guys over there. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. And I hope to see you again soon. Have a good rest of your day. So yeah, take care, everyone.